Just when I think I'm out, they pull me back in. Okay, I was going to leave it. Okay, looks like I have to finish the end of that report into anti-Semitism, seeing as Keir Starmer wants to go on with some bullshit. Okay, so you're going to reinstate Jeremy to the Labour Party, but he's going to be whipless. So he's a toothless MP then. Okay, for all of those who don't know, a whip is an official of a political party whose task is to ensure party discipline in a legislature. Whips are the party's enforcers. They try to ensure that their fellow political party legislators attend voting sessions and vote according to their party's official policy. Now, we know most of the politics of Keir Starmer is diametrically opposed to Jeremy Corbyn. Basically, he's a toothless politician. He's an empty suit. Okay. Let's go into this PDF. Okay. So, if you recall from the last time I was here, I was going through this report and we were coming across some very damning evidence. This is the political bias that was going on in the Labour Party. I mean, this is the investigation into anti-Semitism, and the investigation uncovered no real instances of anti-Semitism, more a dysfunctional Labour Party that pretty much would have been ineffective at prosecuting any such claim of anti-Semitism due to the political bias, which would have probably wielded such accusations to oust people from the party. That is the environment in which we go into with these anti-Semitism claims, okay? And as we've seen from the previous video, we've got pretty much wholesale condemnation, prima facie evidence of political sabotage by Labour internally and all supporters of Keir Starmer. So it was very interesting what it said. Let's carry on with staff views on Labour policy, shall we? Yeah, revealed here is just basically frightening incompetence and inaction from Labour Party officials. Okay, let's get to forget all of that. I was going to go through some stuff. I skipped for a couple of. Let's get to the meat and potatoes, shall we? Let's get to some meat and potatoes. Let's talk about the abusive and inappropriate language used by the Labour Party, shall we? Yeah, and you know what? I think you need to see all of this, don't you? I think you need to see all of this. So let's talk about abusive and inappropriate language. Hanging and burning Jeremy Corbyn does not seem like overkill, they say. Senior staff, including executive directors, staff in GLU, and staff in the General Secretary's office, used abusive or inappropriate language, although this was similar to the language used by Labour members who were suspended by GLU during the leadership election in 2016. No action was taken against GLU staff or other staff who had used such language. The perceived hypocrisy that underlay much of the disciplinary action GLU took in 2016 was, as discussed further in section 2.2, key to undermining faith in Labour members in the party's disciplinary procedures. Are you understanding what's going? Are you understanding what they're saying here? Are you understanding what they're saying here? The people prosecuting Labour MPs for anti-Semitism were using such disgusting language. Nobody had any faith in the process, because the people right now who are lording it over Jeremy Corbyn are Islamophobic racists. Anti-black Islamophobic racists. Let me carry on. When Corbyn appointed his first shadow cabinet in 2015, it was the first front bench team in British history to be majority women. However, some criticised the fact that they claimed were the 4 top posts, such as shadow home secretary, were held by men. Some people just aren't. At the end of the day, there was no valid point there. If you're the Labour MP that's fielded a shadow cabinet with the most females ever, for anyone to still further nitpick at the number of women employed, you're just looking for something. Who was that? Who would be doing that? Do you think it would be a Jeremy Corbyn supporter? Hell no. I mean, even a Tory couldn't make use of that. That's how pathetic it is. On the 15th of September 2015, Greg Cook sent Joe Greening a spoof video of Jeremy Corbyn as Adolf Hitler discussing this issue being overtly sexist and homophobic, while someone says, Dan Jarvis will save us. Love this, Greening responded. Other staff, such as Dan Hogan, who later worked in GLU, were also watching and sharing the video. So this is a video, a comedy video of Jeremy Corbyn dressed up as Adolf Hitler. It was deeply inappropriate, offensive and against Labour's code of conduct for staff to share materials using party resources in office hours, lightening the newly elected leader of the Labour Party to Adolf Hitler. On the 15th, these are members of the Labour Party. The members of the Labour Party. Members of the Labour Party are comparing Jeremy Corbyn to Adolf Hitler. The long-term anti-racist Jeremy Corbyn. The Free South Africa Jeremy Corbyn. On the 15th of June 2015, Head of Press and Broadcasting Joe Green suggested to Acting Director of Policy and Political Research Simon Jackson that anyone who nominates Corbyn to widen the debate day deserves to be taken out and shot. I've seen that one before. Jackson agreed. Quite. On the 15th of September 2015, similarly, Dan Hogan said that a staff member who had whooped Corbyn's speech should be shot. Who was that again? Stevie P. Big up Stevie P. Stevie P, you're the man. Stevie P, you got balls, man. Good for you, Stevie P. Do you know what I mean? You had balls. You were surrounded by the enemy in your own party, Stevie P. You were the only one with balls, Stevie P, and they're all talking shit behind your back because you supported the leader, Stevie P. Stevie P is the man, yeah? And they said Stevie P should be taken out and shot. Boy, Stevie P, you're the man. Anyway, let me get back onto this thing. On the 13th of August 2015, meanwhile, Ali Musavi, economic advisor in the leader's office, and Sarah Brown, press officer, discussed hanging and burning Jeremy Corbyn. Ali Musavi. Ali Musavi? Ali Musavi. Okay. I bet he thinks he's white. Ali Musavi, 1:10. Jeremy Corbyn could end up being like Savonarola, a fantastic priest who deposed the Medicis in a wave of theocratic populism, who was then shortly after deposed himself for making Florence a boring place. Jeremy might even last a few days than Savonarola did. Man, Jez is Savonarola in so many ways. You're just a you're just a wank. Ali Musavi, you're a wank. I bet he was like some person we've never heard of. See, this is coonery. This is him trying to fit in as though he was one of the... I'd compare Jeremy Corbyn to Ali Musavi, you know, one of the ones who disposed the Medicis with theocratic pluralism. What a suck-up! What a suck-up, Ali! Ali! You sell out. But I bet Ali thinks he's white. You sell out, Ali. Ali Musavi. Anyway, fuck that. But we need to finish him. Man, just so blah, 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 in so many ways. But we need to finish him. Sarah Brown, 1:17. Hanging and burning does seem like overkill. I'm going to go read about Savonarola. Ali Musavi, 17. We can figuratively do that, but not literally. After Brown commented, "You don't get my joke," Musavi responded, "I didn't think it was a joke." So we got to sell out Ali Musavi sucking up to the white girls. I think Jeremy Corbyn, middle class wankism to the par excellence. Wankism. Oh, wow. Oh, yeah, I came from a school that was like that. So wanky. After Brown commented, "You don't get my joke," I didn't think it was a joke. On the 17th of September 2015, shortly after Labour members and supporters voted for Jeremy Corbyn to be the leader of the Labour Party, Anna Wright and John Stolliday, who was then moving into a key role in GLU, discussed saying the word cunt more in the last 48 hours than you have in your life up until that point. And Wright noted, "Yesterday, I called the leader of the Labour Party a sexist cunt." She subsequently noted this may have been uncomradely to Corbyn, but Stolliday assured her it's not your job to be comradely to the leader. John Stolliday. What a cancer. What a cancer in the Labour Party. John Stolliday. It's not your job to be comradely to the leader. It's your job to protect and present the ongoing functions of the Labour Party which exists long after any incumbent leader. Anna Wright, 9:51. Yeah, but I have slagged him too much. John Stolliday. That's what Japes is for. And Anna Wright. Yes, I think calling him a sexist fucking cunt was too much though. John Stolliday also used mental health slurs about Lotto Executive Director of Communications Seamus Milne, describing him as a total mentalist and nutter who he had previously told to cock off. Lovely language. Head of Policy Simon Jackson similarly referred to new Labour members who supported Jeremy Corbyn as nutters who had invaded the party, while Head of Policy Development Anushka Gregoric joked about getting FUJC, fuck you Jeremy Corbyn, tattooed on their foreheads. On 10th of April 2017, the manager of Ian McNichol's office also used a mental health slur to mock people who were joining the Labour Party at the time. The British public who were joining the Labour Party at the time. The ones who were getting behind Corbyn because they had faith in the leader. Those are the ones you were taking the piss out. Wow! Labour's so done. Labour's so done. You're so finished. You're so finished. I mean, okay, like, look, call yourselves Tory light, but you're not the working man's party. That's done. That's done. You're not the working man's party. Simon Mills dropped 634 paying members last week. 392 joined. Who are these people? It's paying members into the Labour Party is pissing you off. People who are paying their subscription to the Labour Party is pissing you off. On the 9th of May 2017, GLU's head of disputes, Sam Matthews, and Teddy Ryan, regional organiser, used offensive language about a Labour MP. Sam Matthews, 1039. Fuck him. Someone's got to stand up to these Progressive Alliance wankers. Teddy Ryan, 1040. Tell me about it. Clive Lewis is the biggest cunt of the lot. Sam Matthews, 1040. It's like Outlook whack-a-mole. Yes, he is. On the 9th of March 2017, a number of senior Labour staff made lewd comments on a WhatsApp chat about the clothing of women's political advisors, naming individual staff and mocking their appearance. Sarah Mulland. Simon, apparently, the PADs have stopped wearing bras. Sarah Mulland. Hi, Tom. Hi, Tom G. Sorry, this isn't meant for the chat about undies, but there are nipples out in the PAD's meeting, not single tie. Tracy Allen. Ian the female ones, very retrograde demonstration technique. Will they be burning them next? Julie Lawrence. Thank God this doesn't happen in Southside. Sarah Mullen. Sarah Vine is wearing a see-through, flesh-coloured, skin-tight top and no bra. No wonder Trickett speaks so highly of her. Sarah Mullen. Pine, not Vine. During the 2017 election, Executive Director for Governance, Membership and Parties Emily Olo made sexist and derogatory comments about Laura Murray, a young female member of staff in Lotto, following a negative story about her in the media. Tracy Allen, we got a link. Emily Olo, you think with all that money she could afford to buy a jacket and a bra? I mean, this is childish. I mean, these are the people running things now. Senior staff, including Emily Olno, Julie Lawrence and Tracy Allen, shared abusive messages regarding Lotto Chief of Staff Katie Murray. Olno and other staff often called Murphy Medusa. Julie Lawrence called her crazy and said her face would make a good dartboard, and Patrick Hennigan called her a bitch-faced cow. Ian McNichol, Kayan wants any savings from KROW to fund community organising. Does she not realise we haven't even funded the campaigns? Simon Mills, what a fuckwit. We don't have the money to pay Crow, so cutting it doesn't create cash for COs. Emily Ola. I got told today that when Carrie found out about Gordon, she was throwing things around the office. Julie Lawrence. Ha! Crazy woman. Emily Odu. I laughed out loud. Julie Lawrence. Keep poking the bear. Tracy Allen. Definitely crazy snakehead lady rather than plucky Scottish heroine. Emily Ono. Media omitted. Patrick Hennigan, bitch-faced cow. Julie Lawrence, that would make a good dartboard. Tracy Allen, Medusa monster. I mean, this Emily Ono, media omitted. This was something so offensive. This was evidently something so offensive that the people investigating this when uncovering that information have buried it. That's how offensive it was. The people into this, because we would have to open up an entire new investigation along a whole new type of racism now, wouldn't we? No, but no, we have to stay within the remember, it's get the trucks, anti-Semitism. Look at all of these nasty motherfuckers in Labour. Emily Olno, Julie Lawrence, Tracy Allen, Patrick Hennigan, what's the other demon's name? John Stoliday, and now for the pièce de résistance. Pièce de résistance. Senior staff, including the Executive Director for Governance, Membership and Party Services, Emily Olno, made further derogatory and abusive comments about Lotto Chief of Staff Carrie Murray, and Lotto Political Secretary Katie Clark. For example, Emily Olno, fuck off, Pube Head. Emily Olno, I'm too busy slagging you off. Mike Crichton. Can I just point out from my sick bed there is too much disparaging talk about old folk in this timeline? Salt of the earth, don't you know? Tracy Allen. Who is Pube Head? Emily Olno. To talk to you about John Trickett's diary? Emily Olno. Katie. Emily Olno. Katie had the exact same clothes on yesterday. Emily Olno. Smelly cow. Tracy Allen. Didn't she do that at conference too? Emily Olno. Yes, same clothes, 4 days. Patrick Hennigan. Probably slept in them. Patrick Hennigan. Disgusting. Emily Olno. Carrie is actually fat too. Emily Olno. There's a good old roll in that photo. Emily Olno. Roll. Many of the above conversations involve the GLU staff such as Stoliday and Crichton and Oldno, who was responsible for overseeing and managing GLU, and Ian McNichol. The language used in many of these conversations was deeply inappropriate for Labour members, let alone Labour staff, and more serious than many of the comments for which Labour members were suspended in the 2016 leadership election. Do you understand what's being said here? The party is not aware of any of these individuals being reported or investigated for this abusive language. They were blatantly using racism. Pube Head. That's the term used against black people. So, like, what were you going to say? Oh, yeah, it's a racist term for black people, but we were using it against white people. Pube Head. I used to get called Pube Head when I was at school by the white kids. Pube Head, yeah? That's a racist term. That's a specifically racist term used against, leveled at black people, and you're being smart leveling it at a white person. But you're using racist anti-black terminology, Emily Oldno. That's racist anti-black terminology, Tracy Allen, John Stoliday, yeah? All you motherfuckers, yeah? Crichton, yeah? McNichol. That's anti-black racist language. And you're kicking people out for anti-Semitism. You motherfuckers. You racist motherfuckers. You're exposed because I know what I know. Anyone who's using the term pube head, look, obviously you've used that against black people before you used it against white people. You fucking morons. This report into anti-Semitism has exposed anti-black racism at the higher echelons of Labour. That's all I'm reading. Really smelly cow. She had the same clothes on from yesterday. So what? Maybe she was working hard, but you wouldn't know about that. Maybe she was pulling one of those 2-3 days, but you wouldn't know about that because you lot sit around and fuck about when you were meant to be campaigning, remember? You lot were sitting around fucking organising your own leadership campaigns when you were meant to be campaigning on the hustings for the Labour Party in the leadership election. Remember? Wow. And the cherry on top is the party is not aware of any of these individuals being reported or investigated for this abusive language. Senior staff in Labour HQ also openly insulted a young Labour member and Corbyn supporter who was suffering from mental health problems. What? Senior staff in Labour HQ also openly insulted a young Labour member and Corbyn supporter who was suffering from mental health problems. Senior staff, including Mike Crichton, were aware of these problems but said on WhatsApp that they would like to see him die in a fire or wouldn't piss on him to put him out. See for yourself. Patrick Hennigan, take a look at Max tweet. Anyway, link. Patrick Hennigan, outrageous. Emily Odo, that's funny. Emily Odo, he's got mental issues. Patrick Hennigan, still outrageous. Sarah Mullins. And P.S. I hope Max Shanley dies in a fire. Judy Lawrence, probably laughing emoji. Mike Crichton, that's a very bad wish, Sarah. But if he does, I wouldn't piss on him to put him out. Sarah Mullins, wish there was petrol can emoji. Patrick Hennigan, take a look at Hennigan. What a dick. Tracy Allen. Couldn't find suitable emoji for him. Email omitted. Media omitted. Something so horribly racist. A direct reference. A slam dunk. Let's stop investigating anti-Semitism and let's investigate something. So media omitted. But the next line, it was the monkey. So we're talking about having access to something and they don't want Lotto staff members to have access to a database or whatever, but you know, I don't know who we're talking about. I don't know who was involved. Was a black person involved in this in any way, shape or form? Patrick Hennigan, wasn't sure about Greg. Patrick Hennigan, I did email him stuff though. Patrick Hennigan, media omitted because it was so bad. So bad they took the media out. Patrick Hennigan, it was the monkey. You have monkeys in politics? I think that they've omitted that media there because it was so bad that the follow-up phrase, it was the monkey, makes it slam dunk racism. That's what I think. Why would you omit that media in this investigation? The only reason why you would omit certain media in this investigation means you'd have to stop this investigation into anti-Semitism and you now have to go into, I don't know, who do we call monkeys? Who do we call monkeys? Patrick Hennigan. Who are we referring to as a monkey? So in this little section that I've just uncovered, you know what? I haven't even made a dent into this report. It just keeps going on and on. But I think I've exposed anti-black racism. I think we know who all the names are. Wow. Are these people still walking around in the Labour Party? They can't be. 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 I mean, if they are, if any of those names that I just saw there are still there, fuck the Labour Party. Fuck it. Right? And then I will now actively come against any black person who advocates for the Labour Party. And you know who I'm going to start with very publicly. Wow. I didn't really want to say it. When they suspended Jeremy Corbyn from the Labour Party, I mean, it's also an insult to reinstate him whipless. But when they kicked him out of the Labour Party, I was saying, form your own party. This stuff is out there. This stuff is out there in the world for you to read. But Jeremy Corbyn's weak. Jeremy Corbyn's weak. Look at what's come against him. And when he had the opportunity to, did he try to do any purge? Did he try to clean house? No, he didn't. He tried to play kumbaya with snakes. I'm afraid, even though he might have been our darling of the left and the one that we wanted, he didn't have the balls to do what needed to be done as a strong left-wing leader. That's a fact. That's a fact. Look at all the nasty pieces of work. Big up Stevie P. But look at all the nasty pieces of work running around. And he knew, and he just ignored it. And then they sabotaged him. Sorry, not strong enough. With people like that sticking knives in my back, they need a visit. All right, just a little addendum. I'd actually finished the video and I was just about to start editing up, but this flashed in front of my face again and I forgot to include it because it was important. This is God telling me to mention it again. Who's Keir Starmer surrounded by? Have a look, because this is part of the benign neglect policy against us black people. Who's Keir Starmer surrounded by? Have a look. Let's start from the left and work our way to the right, yeah? Because you need to know this because this is the game that's being played on you. This is the game that's being played on you, right? And this is and they think they're smart, but this is why we got to start defining a narrative to show that we're seeing all of this from the jump. When it blows up in their face, they're not going to be able to make up some excuse as to why they have no support. We're noticing from the get-go, right? Same thing that's going on in America is going on here. Take a look. Who's he? Look, Somali, don't know where she's from, some Muslim guy. Then we have Keir Starmer, the white man in the middle. Then we probably have some Eastern European Gregoric or some, tall basketball player. We got some Indian. And then we got some, I don't know, Lebanese or something. And then we got some Bangladeshi or Pakistani in the end. Who's missing from this picture? Yeah? Who's missing from this picture? This multi-ethnic, we're Labour and we're multi-ethnic and we're not racist. Hang on a second, your party's Islamophobic. Your party shares Islamophobic videos. Look, he's surrounded by the Somali man smiling, happy to be in the photo. All these people, first generation UK, all first generation UK. That's who he's aligning himself with to appear non-racist. Who does he not have there? Only the black people that have been in England the longest, right? Surrounded by first generation, because this is the con that he's running on you. Labour's done. Done. Done.